Hello and welcome. My name is Stephen, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to write an essay for the B2 First Certificate writing paper. In part 1 of the B2 First Certificate writing paper, there is a compulsory essay. You do not have a choice, you have to answer this question, and it is between 140 and 190 words. It is marked following the four following criteria: content, communicative achievement, organisation and language. I will explain those a bit more in the description box of this video, and I will also be making a video in the future, so if you subscribe to the channel you can find out a bit more about that when I publish that video. So let's take a look at the task that I'm going to be writing for you today. In your English class, you have been talking about education. Now, your English teacher has asked you to write an essay. Should university be free? Notes: 1. Taxes. 2. Equality. And 3. Your own idea. Write an essay using all the notes and give reasons for your opinion. So, I am going to be following the 5-part essay model, which is perfect for a B2 first essay. It has an introduction and then it has 3 paragraphs, and each paragraph is going to be about one of the notes. So 1 on taxes, 1 on equality, and then 1 on my own idea. And then I will have a conclusion at the end. So let's dive in, and I am going to start by putting a title. Now I'm not going to copy the title "Should University Be Free?" I'm going to create my own, so I'm going to put University Education and then a colon and then free for all. And you may have seen this before, where you can write a title with a colon and then you can have a question. It doesn't have to follow the usual question form with an auxiliary verb. That is fine the way that I've done it. So let's start. So we need to introduce the topic of this essay, which is: should university education be free? Today, comma, many people recognize the importance and value of a university education. Today, many people recognize the importance and value of a university education. As a result, now I don't want to repeat and say it's some people, so I'm going to say some members of society believe it should be free for all. So I've used people and I've used members, some members of society, as synonyms. This "it" here, this pronoun, is referring back to university education here, and I'm going to leave that now as my introduction. So if we look, our first paragraph, we're going to talk about taxes. So I think it's obvious that the people who believe education should be free think it should be paid with by taxes. So that's going to be what I'm going to write my first paragraph about. Firstly, let's say we've said people, we've said some members of society. Let's say supporters of free So, firstly, supporters of free university education believe it should be paid for with taxes. They feel that more educated benefits. So firstly, supporters of free university education believe it should be paid for with taxes. They feel that a more educated population benefits society. Now I want to show some contrast because not everybody thinks this. So I'm going to start with however, comma. Not everyone agrees. Actually, something a bit more fancy. Not everyone is in agreement. Particularly, you will have to excuse sometimes I type the wrong keys. I can spell, but I'm trying to look at the screen and type at the same time. Particularly those who don't Firstly, supporters of free university education believe it should be paid for with taxes. They feel that a more educated population benefits society. However, not everyone is in agreement, particularly those who don't attend university. So that's our first paragraph. Now, the computer is suggesting that I say, however, not everyone agrees. I'm going to keep is in agreement as it is more formal and we are writing a formal essay. So we can ignore that. Our second paragraph, I'm going to start with secondly. So let's just check our notes. It's about equality. There's lots of different types of equality, but it means fairness and being equal. And I think that's quite important when we think about going to university. So I'm going to say, secondly, another argument in favour of free education. Secondly, another argument in favour of free education is that it promotes equality. Now, we need to try and give some examples of our opinions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about equality and I'm going to think about society and I'm going to think about poorer people in society and I'm now thinking about immigrants that come into a country who have less money and whose children might want to go to university. So I'm going to use this adverb here. Statistically, immigrant families are less wealthy and may be unable to pay university fees. So, I've now given an example. Now, in the introduction, I said as a result, and I really like that, but I don't want to repeat it. So I'm going to use a synonym for as a result, which is consequently. Consequently, this could result in a less equal society in the future. Secondly, another argument in favour of free education is that it promotes equality. Statistically, immigrant families are less wealthy and may be unable to pay university fees. Consequently, this could result in a less equal society in the future. Now, the next paragraph is our own idea. Now, the idea that I have had is because university is expensive, people often choose a degree that's going to get them a job, where maybe they might have preferred to study something else. So I'm going to talk about that. So finally, if university were free for all, people would be more likely to follow their hearts and study subjects such as, and when I use such as, I use a colon to start a list, and I'm going to think of 3 subjects that are less likely to be studied because perhaps they don't have a career, a well-paying career. So I'm going to say philosophy, art, and ancient languages. Finally, if university were free for all, people would be more likely to follow their hearts and study subjects such as philosophy, art, and ancient languages. This would improve our culture and inspire future generations. Now, the reason that it is highlighting art is because I am British, so when I write a list, I do not put a comma before the and. I believe they do that in America. So we're now going to write our final. We're actually going to do a quick word count. So if I can just do this quickly with my computer now, and let's see how many words that I have written. That is 140, so that's perfect. So that means now we can write a conclusion or a summary. In conclusion, while I fully understand the financial implications of making university free, I believe the positives outweigh the negatives. In my opinion, university should be free. So I am now going to read this through. I'm going to edit it, and I'm also going to do an English lesson where I explain to you some of the grammar and some of the sentence structure so that you can hopefully use it yourselves. So let's take a look at this first paragraph. Today, many people recognize the importance and value of a university education. Okay, I'm happy with that. As a result, some members of society believe it should be free for all. Now, I've already used free for all, and I've got it again, free for all. I'm going to change it to free of charge. Free of charge just means free. Firstly, supporters of free university education believe it should be paid for with taxes. Now, there is another expression. Instead of be paid for, we can say it should be. So let's cross that out. Now, in the test, you would write this above, but I'm going to obviously write it. I'm on the computer, so I'm going to write it like this. Funded by. To be funded by means to be paid for when we're talking about the government. They feel that a more educated population benefits society. However, not everyone is in agreement, particularly those who don't attend university. Now, have you spotted the mistake in this sentence? This is a formal piece of writing, so we should not be using contractions. It should be those who do not attend university. However, not everyone is in agreement, particularly those who do not attend university themselves. Secondly, another argument in favour of free education is that it promotes equality. Statistically, immigrant families are less wealthy and may be unable to pay university fees. Now, we've already used pay somewhere in there. I'm going to change that to afford. I may be unable to afford university fees. Consequently, this could result in a less equal society in the future. Now, have we used could quite a bit? Don't think so. I'm going to change it to might. This might. So I'm trying to use a range of modal verbs, so not to be repetitious throughout. Finally, if university were free for all, people would be more likely to follow their hearts and study subjects such as philosophy, art and ancient languages. This would improve our culture and inspire future generations. I'm going to get rid of improve, and I'm going to say enrich. Enrich our culture. And I'm also going to get rid of culture. And instead, I'm going to put our cultural heritage and inspire future generations. In conclusion, while I fully understand the financial implications of making university free, I believe the positives outweigh the negatives. In my opinion, university should be free. Now let's take a look at some of these sentences. Today, many people recognise the value of university education. As a result, some members of society believe it should be free of charge. So today is a fronted adverbial, so I've got a comma after it. As a result is another fronted adverbial, also known as a sentence starter. Firstly, another one. Supporters of free university education believe it should be funded by taxes. And I crossed out B. This is why you need to double check. Should be funded by taxes. They feel that a more educated population benefits society. However, not everyone is in agreement. Now, here we have however, a fronted adverbial, and then I've added this adverbial on the end, and it's quite complex. You may not be able to do this. It is an ambitious sentence, particularly those means people, and then we've got a relative clause, who do not attend university themselves. So quite an ambitious sentence there. You may be able to try and learn that sentence and change it and use your own vocabulary, or possibly not. Secondly, another argument in favour of free education is that it promotes equality. Statistically, immigrant families are less wealthy and may be unable to afford university fees. Consequently, this might result in a less equal society in the future. Finally, if university were free for all, people would be more likely to follow their hearts and study subjects as art and ancient languages. This would enrich our cultural heritage and inspire future generations. In conclusion, I wanted to talk about this sentence in particular. This is a fantastic sentence that you can absolutely take and adapt for lots of different essays. So you can start it with in conclusion. Now, we've then got a subordinate clause. Let's do that a different colour. While I fully understand the financial implications of making university free, you could use this in a lot of different essays. While I fully understand, and then you can give a negative. And then this one, this is the main clause. This can be used again. I believe the positives outweigh the negatives. In my opinion, university should be free, and we finished it by linking it back to the question that was given in the notes. So there you have it. I hope you found this useful. If you would like to go to my website, englishlearningexpert.com, you can check out my ebooks or book a lesson with me. And you could also like this video and subscribe to my channel. I will be doing more videos where I write essays as I just have, and I will look forward to seeing you then. So thank you for watching.